folks, this is Mark, Archie Crawling and Aviation Adventures. I'm at the lake, it's windy. This is my Carbon Club S2. Now, do you notice anything different about this S2 here, by any chance? Anything different? Come in a little closer. Do you notice anything different now about the Carbon Club S2? Whoa, did you see the person walking past the clear windows on the Carbon Club S2? Yeah, baby. Woohoo! Now, if we come a little bit closer still, you can see that we got seats in there. Yep, let's see if we can hit some light on the subject. Light. It's got seats in there, pilot seat. And I might have to hit that from a different angle. Yeah, you can just see the pilot seat there. Yep, and the passenger seat in the back. Yes, sir, indeed. Glass windows on the sides. Recently completed. See, there's the passenger seat you can see now. Center screen, you can see the passenger seat there. Yep. And you can just see the pilot seat in front of it. That's right. So there's the forward view. Now this was a very, very interesting project, folks. Doing this clear side windows conversion. A very interesting project. I'm going to tell you why. As succinctly as I can, briefly. See that? Clear windows. You can see the grass through the plane. And you can see the passenger seat there in the sun. Woo, baby. Yeah. Alright, so ain't that cool? You can see the wing struts through there, through the opposite window. So ain't that gonna look nice now? Once he's flying, taking off, flying in the air. Even with my little UMX Sport Cub S2, which I did the same thing. I put clear windows on it. Even with that little bird, when I'm flying, you can really see the sky through those windows and it looks super scale. So yeah. Alright, we'll talk about it here in a second. This had some challenges. This had some challenges. Unlike the little Sport Cub S2, that was a very, very straightforward. I made a video showing that one with clear windows and windshield, and I made a series of 3 short videos showing exactly how I did that. Clear windows now. Now, before I forget, I gotta say I just could not live with that guy on the sticker that where you see his silhouette through the windows, right? He looks like he's way too big for the plane. He's all hunched over the stick. Looks like his head is hitting the top of the ceiling of the cockpit, you know, the underside of the wing. And it looks like nobody's cleaned the windows in decades because you just see his silhouette, that's all. That just bugged me, so I had to get rid of that and went with this. So, yeah, so there were for sure some challenges on this as opposed to the UMX conversion that I did. But I had a real good time doing it, and a good time, you know, trying to figure stuff out on how to make it work. And I think it does work. I think it looks really great. I'm awfully happy with it. Is anyone gonna, you know, begin weeping uncontrollably, you know, because of the beauty and the artistry of my of the work that I've done here? No, no one's gonna do that. But I think most people will agree that it looks pretty dang cool. So, okay. Yeah. Let me explain it in the air. Then we can get the in the air sort of view. Sort of in the air sort of view. See that? Hee-hee! That's the wing. Opposite wing there. Yep. Alright, so let's see. Well, let's start off with the tools I used. This is what I used. This size of knife like this with the breakaway blades. As you know, when the one you're using gets dull, you break it off and go to the next one. So I used this one. I used this one as much as I could because it's easier to cut straighter and a little faster and whatnot. And And then I also use these smaller ones a lot. Yeah, okay. So that's what I used. Now, first of all, before I did this, and I knew I was going to do this before I got the plane. So before I did this, as I was unboxing the plane and assembling the plane, I noted the layout inside the fuse and where I would need to cut and what was in proximity to where I'd need to cut and so on and so forth. Yeah, so I made sure I knew that I could cut, as I did with the UMX Sport Cub S2, I used the decal, the sticker, that's the window. I used that, and I picked up my clear window material. I picked up my clear window material. I laid it right over the top of the sticker that used to be here, and I traced the outline of the window onto my clear window raw material. Right, I held it onto the decal that used to be here, traced it so that I had an exact size and shape of the decal on my clear piece of window material. Then I cut that out, and then I had my clear window size and shape just right for installation in that space there. And then, now the smart thing would have been to take the wing off for sure. Take the wing off and do the installation and do the clear window modification. That would be the smart thing to do. But I had just put a big old lights kit on here, and I didn't really want to do that, so I didn't do it that way. So just a word of caution, I would really recommend taking the wing off. It's a lot easier. But if you're very, very careful as I was, you can also do it as she is now. So after I made the outline, after I traced the outline of the window sticker, which was going to be the outline of my real window, onto the clear material, well then I trimmed it down to the right size and shape as I said. Okay, and then using the decal, the window decal as my template as before, as with the UMX plane, I cut it out. Very carefully and with the utmost caution. You know, I came in and cut into the foam, you know, very carefully, a little bit at a time. The foam is very thick, you know, so it took a long time to get it all done. It took a long time to get it all done. Quit moving camera. Yeah, it took a long time to get it all done. Now I got my shirt on the subject. Well, it's okay. So anyway, yeah, it took a lot of time and had to be very, very cautious cutting out the foam. Now, I had to make dang sure that I wasn't cutting any wires, you know, or hitting the receiver, I mean, I had to make dang sure that my knife blade was not going to hit anything but foam, because I could really ruin my day, you know. So I cut out, first I scored right along the window decal. I scored with my knife blade, each time going a little bit deeper, very cautious. Okay, then I started to actually cut, and I only put about a quarter inch of knife blade into the foam, not enough to go all the way through. And I started going along, scoring deeper and deeper, and then when I finally poked through the foam on the inside, just first started to, but when I went along with my blade, I went really slow, and really paying attention for any kind of resistance, you know, against the blade, like hitting a wire or something. So anyway, I was very, very cautious, and once I got partway through the one side, I was able to cut away and pull out chunks until I could see in there, and I could then continue cutting, being able to see in there somewhat. And then once I got one side cut out, well then it was easy to look through that open side and do the other one. And then it was very difficult but quite doable to stow all the wires and stuff in there. I had to stow all the wires and stuff in there, and yeah, the ones under the wing, everything. I had to stow everything away, and so you can't see it. It's nice and clean in there. And that took some time to figure out how to move stuff back into the back of the fuselage, and other stuff went underneath below the window. I made a floor in there to hide everything. Which is also the platform for the seats. The seats, I just took some cardboard, corrugated, and I put some silver duct tape on there that matches the silver on the plane, and I rubbed it into that corrugated cardboard, which made it kind of ribbed, as you can see. It kind of almost like upholstery. Give it a ribbed look. So I did that. So I just made those two seats out of cardboard and some duct tape. And let's see what else. Yeah, and I cut the windows to fit very, very tight. And I also scored slightly the interior of the window frames. I made a little kind of a, what do you call it? I made a little indentation so that when I pushed my window glass into place, it would pop into that indentation all the way around the window, and they literally snapped into place. Both the windows snapped into place. So they're just in there by friction, but they're in there tight. They're snapped into place. And if I need or want to get in there, I mean, I wouldn't have to because I could take the wing off. But if I needed to for some reason, I could. Oh, and the windows, I had to buy 2 sandwiches to get the material for the windows. Because that's what it is. I bought 2 sandwiches, and they were in packaging. They were in clear plastic packaging of the right thickness and everything else. And so that's what I used. Yep. Something that would have been thrown in the trash is now windows on a plane. Okay. All right. Now we get down to the nitty gritty. Now, the first challenge I know, going back to when I was unboxing and assembling the plane and thinking about this project, the first thing I realized and ran into was that my UMX plane is all clear up in here. On my UMX Sport Cup S2, you know, I cut out the windshield here, and there's nothing there. It's just all wide open. This plane is quite different. Right behind this windshield, and including the windshield, on the inside of the fuse, is a big old hunk of foam, a block of foam, a foam bulkhead. And these screws here that hold the wing on in the front, they go down into a plastic threaded, what would you call it, a column maybe, or a post, and that it's kind of U-shaped post. It's like the screw goes in here into this housing, and then there's a piece here, and it goes up here, and the other screw is here. It's like a U-shaped deal with a screw at each end. And that plastic, what do you want to call it? That plastic bracket that this screws onto was and is part of that big block of foam that's up here. So if I was to cut out the foam up here so that I could make a clear windshield like I did on the Sport Cup S2, I would be removing that block of foam, which is what holds the front of the wing on. Major structural part of this plane in terms of the wing and just the general strength of the fuse and stuff like that. So I couldn't do that. And I said, well, shoot, is that the end of this project idea? And I said, no. Let's do a hybrid. Can't change this, but it looks cool. I mean, it looks like it could be a real windshield with light glinting off of it. I said, but we could do the side windows. That's what I said to myself. We can do the side windows. Let's do that. So I did that. Now, and we're going to come in close and look at something here. I told you about that bulkhead. Well, that was a problem because after I got done cutting through the foam and everything like that, look at those windows. There's the back of the pilot seat. I don't know if we can see it from this angle. Here's what we'll do. We'll pick up this beautiful bird. Now let's see. How can we? Let's see. Get this out of here, folks. I've got to get a view of something that's hard to see, which is what I want. I want it to be hard to see. Oh, folks, let's see here. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can slip this under the wing strut and get a look at the front. Let's see how good side here. I can't see anything from there. All right, let's put it this way. Okay, you see to the left of the screen that black area, which I'm having to be simulated a tinted glass. Right here, tinted, simulated. Well, right behind that, see if we can see it. I'm not sure. Right behind that is a part of that bulkhead I told you about, that foam block bulkhead that the front wing attachment assembly hooks up to. There's a bulkhead there. I don't think we're going to get to see it, and that's good. I mean, that's what I wanted. But there's you can see it now. Center screen, it's in gray. It's gray color, but that's foam. See? and the wing is attached to that. So I had to hide. There was no way to remove that. There's foam and those screw brackets that the wing screws go into. There's that there, right? White foam, gray plastic brackets. Well, I couldn't remove that stuff, and if I had the windows clear up in the front, you'd see it. It would look lame. So I made it gray to match the plane interior, and then I cut away enough so that the black piece that you see here, it's kind of like a wing window type of a deal, if you will, a dead center screen. Yeah, there we go, center screen. I put that in place, like a tinted window, like I got in the back here, tinted back a window, center screen. Same type of deal here, tinted window, center screen. And what that does is that hides. That totally hides, see? There's a pilot seat there, center screen. This here hides the little bulkhead. That was a big challenge to figure out how to hide that. And so that worked out really great, I think. What else? I think that might be it, folks. I think that might really be it. Yeah, and of course, after I finished, I had to make darn sure that I didn't cut any wires or pull anything out while I was working on it. I had to make sure that, yeah, so I had to make sure that all my control surfaces still worked. I had to bind it up to the radio, make sure my control surfaces all still worked, make sure all my lights still worked, and everything. You can see dead center screen the antenna there, right by the window. I didn't want to hide it completely. I wanted it to be out, you know, in the open, in the cockpit there, and get as much exposure as possible. So you can just barely see that there. Just barely see that there. All right then, there they are. I guess that's it. The cost of the project was the cost of 2 sandwiches, which was $7 each. Things are expensive in Seattle, so $14 for the materials, including sandwiches though. And those knives I showed you, those breakaway knives, those are like $4 each. And whatnot, Sharpie, the duct tape, waterproof, silver, 3M. There you go. So that's it. That's it. I got rid of that guy that was crotched in there, and now we got a pretty scale interior. Now, don't you think the hybrid of the existing non-clear windows, as far as the windshield is concerned, and the black wing windows that I've got, and the black rear windows, don't you think that all kind of looks pretty scale, despite the fact it's not all clear glass, if you will? I think it does. I think it works. I think it works real good. I think it works real good. Especially in the air. It's going to be super duper. Okay, folks, this is Mark at RC Crawling and Aviation Adventures. I appreciate every view, every viewer, every subscriber, and I appreciate all y'all's videos very much. I get so much entertainment and knowledge from those. I've been in the RC flying hobby for about 4 years. I quit flying planes for a couple of years because at that time I wasn't happy about the new FAA rules at that time, but when all was said and done, the rules that we ended up having I was fine with. So I went ahead and registered myself with the FAA, and I registered this here airplane with the FAA, and so I'm having myself a good time, and having an extra good time because I've been out of it for a couple years. I was flying my Blade 230 SV2 helicopter for those couple years, and I loved it, but I missed airplanes. I missed it. The helicopter's too easy. You can take off straight up, do whatever you want to. Come in, you know, land vertically. That's too easy. I like having to try to find enough room, which way's the wind blowing, you know, how are you going to make your approach. You have to land in a crosswind. I love all that kind of stuff. All right, this is Mark. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Enjoy the RC hobby as soon as you can. Bye-bye now.